हेलो बेटा, गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। बेटा आज हम लेंगे आईएएस इकोनॉमिक्स ऑप्शनल 2022 पेपर 1 क्वेश्चन 3b। राइट डाउन द क्वेश्चन बेटा। कंपेयर द डिपॉजिट मल्टीप्लायर with money multiplier. Is there any impact on the money multiplier arising out of massive use of credit and debit card? Justify your answer. Justify your answer. This is the question. ठीक है। Compare the deposit multiplier with money multiplier. Is there any impact on the money multiplier arising out of the massive use of credit and debit cards? Justify your answer. Try to do this yourself, beta. Give it a try. Just give it a try, everyone. वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन। हाँ, तो पहले ये क्वेश्चन बोल रहा है कि हमें ये बताना है कि व्हाट इज डिपॉजिट मल्टीप्लायर एंड हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम मनी मल्टीप्लायर। बेटा यूजुअली इफ यू हैव नॉट स्टडीड दिस थरली तो आपको ये लग सकता है दैट द टू थिंग्स आर वेरी सिमिलर, दोनों एक ही बात है, डिपॉजिट मल्टीप्लायर एंड मनी मल्टीप्लायर, बट दैट्स नॉट द केस. The deposit and the money multiplier are two different concepts, right? Deposit multiplier is only on the initial deposit, right? Whereas money multiplier includes, money multiplier जो होता है, money multiplier is a heavier phenomena. Money multiplier जो होगा, that is going to go ahead and it is a broader phenomena. It will include currency deposit ratio and reserve ratio also. But जो deposit multiplier होगा, theoretically speaking, it will only include the initial deposits, right? So the two things are very, very different from each other. And that is the difference which we go ahead and which we see. Is it making some sense, beta? ठीक है। So deposit multiplier is basically based on the theoretical phenomena कि अगर हमने कुछ पैसा डिपॉजिट किया, how many times will it multiply itself? Money multiplier is based on including other factors also, right? It includes other aspects of money also, cash reserve ratio, it includes currency to deposit ratio, everything, right? That is the difference between money multiplier and deposit multiplier, right? Money multiplier is more general, more realistic. It includes currencies and deposits, both. Okay? It takes high powered money as the base, right? So I think that this was a गुड ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन, ये एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन है आपको थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट करने के लिए. वी कैन से दैट इट इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन. हाँ, so let's write down the answer to this one later. Okay, please write it with me. The deposit multiplier is derived from the assumption that banks only hold a fraction of deposits as required for reserves and lend out the rest. Deposit multiplier is 1 divided by cash reserve ratio. ठीक है, 1 divided by cash reserve ratio. On the other hand, money multiplier is more general and realistic. It measures total expansion of the money supply, currency plus deposits. It measures total expansion of money supply, currency plus deposits, resulting from an initial increase in high-powered money or base money. So we can say, beta, that money multiplier is 1 plus C upon 1 plus R. 1 plus C upon 1 plus R. This is your money multiplier, where small c is C by D. Currency deposit ratio. And small r, that is R by D, which is reserve deposit ratio, So if you notice here, deposit multiplier क्या बोलता है, क्या बोल रहा है? What is deposit multiplier saying? That, there is a person, he deposited 100 rupees, bank had to keep 10 as reserve, the remaining 90 bank gave out as loan. So suppose this bank gave out loan to person B, then person B spent this money and gave it to person C. C deposited this money in the bank. Bank kept 9 as CRR and gave the remaining 81 as loan, and this continued, right? So this is just assuming that it's based on the assumption that banks hold a fraction of deposit required for reserves and they lend out the remaining. Bas itna assumption hai in the deposit multiplier. We are not going ahead and we are not saying anything else in deposit multiplier. बट अब इससे जब हम मनी मल्टीप्लायर की तरफ जाते हैं, सो मनी मल्टीप्लायर इज मोर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव. Money multiplier is more, I can say, more real world because it contains both currency drain and excessive reserve. ये ER की भी बात करता है, excessive reserves की भी बात करता है, right? So money multiplier, it includes the currency deposit ratio also, it includes the reserve deposit ratio also, right? So money multiplier, अच्छा इसमें ये सिर्फ ये बात करता है कि हमने एक CRR रखा, माने वी जस्ट केप्ट द बेसिक रिजर्व्स, बट मनी मल्टीप्लायर ऑल्सो कंसिडर्स द एक्सेस रिजर्व, राइट? सो मनी मल्टीप्लायर is more comprehensive, real world measure, since it considers both currency drain and excess reserves. It considers both currency drain and excess reserve. Deposit multiplier, on the other hand, is special case of money multiplier, assuming people hold no currency. देखो हमने यहाँ पे क्या दिया कि whatever 90% B took as loan, he gave to C and C ने वो सारा ही 90 डिपॉजिट करवा दिया. माने C ने अपने स्पेंडिंग के लिए कुछ नहीं रखा. C did not keep anything for his own spending. C just spent out the entire money, I mean, just deposited the entire money in the bank. Huh? So whatever loan B had given, B spent, purchased something from C, and C took everything as deposit. C ने ऐसा नहीं किया कि 90 में से 10 रुपए अपने लिए खर्चे के लिए रखता है and 80 डिपॉजिट करता है. We are not assuming anything like that. That he is holding some amount as currency also. That fact is not considered here. But if you go here we are considering that because we are considering currency deposit ratio also. So here we are saying that no currency, okay, there is in money multiplier no currency people hold as cash is assumed, right? Assuming people hold no currency, right? And at the same time we also assume that there is no excess reserves. No excess reserves, right? So this is the two things which are not assumed here, but they're considered here. यहाँ पे जो reserve है, it takes care of excess reserves also. And जो currency deposit ratio, it takes care of the fact that people can hold some money in the form of currency also, right? So therefore, deposit multiplier will show excess multiplied effect. हाँ, वो ज्यादा इफेक्ट दिखाएगा because it will show everything is deposited. So it will be always more than money multiplier in practice. More than money multiplier in practice. Is it clear? Okay, now we will be talking about debit and credit cards. तो डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट कार्ड में कुछ नया मनी तो क्रिएट नहीं हो रहा है, राइट, बट दे आर एक्चुअली अफेक्टिंग द वेलोसिटी ऑफ मनी, राइट, they are actually therefore affecting the currency deposit ratio, right? So write down credit and debit card do not create any new money supply, right? They're not creating any new money supply, but they are going ahead and they are actually the instruments which are helping us understand how much money people will hold, right? जैसे credit card की वजह से I can spend more than what money I have, right? So they are instruments to access the existing deposits or provide short-term credit right? So if people rely more on cards and digital payment, they hold less currency in hand and keep more in their bank deposits. So when people rely more on cards and digital payments, what will happen? I don't have to hold more cash, right? I can hold less currency as cash and I can hold everything in my bank account. So my deposits will increase. So currency deposit ratio, that means small c, this will fall. And when small c, currency to deposit ratio will fall, this will fall, right? Currency deposit ratio will fall. So this will fall. Now, beta, one thing, I think here, this is not 1, huh? This is C. So this will also fall, right? Currency deposit ratio is falling. So when currency deposit ratio falls, right, it increases money multiplier. It increases money multiplier. Okay. So please write down massive use of cards raises the effectiveness of the money multiplier because same base money supports more deposit money creation. More deposit money creation. Okay. So what we have seen is that what we are noticing here is that the effectiveness of money multiplier increases because your C is increasing, more deposits are happening. So when more deposits take place, because of more deposits, you will notice अब ज़्यादा पैसा बैंक के पास जा रहा है, there are more deposits. So when more deposits are going, you will notice that because of this, banks can give out more loans. So when banks can give out more loans, it basically means that it is going to increase the process of money creation and hence money multiplier. Right? Write down. Note. The absolute money supply is still limited because limited by base money and reserve requirement. Cards only change the form of money usage, not the stock of money. Not the stock of money. Is it clear, beta? Okay, thank you.